Hey everyone, Professor Snart checking in. It is about 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And we, in the normal world, have a long weekend, but in the world of 8-week online comp courses, we have a pretty quick turnaround from Unit 2, which just we just finished on Thursday yesterday. And now we're looking at Unit 3 for Monday. And in fact, a number of the units follow this kind of due date structure until we get to a couple of the longer like major essay units where you have more time. So we kind of compress things like in the units 2 to 3, but the glass half full of that is that you have more time to work on the major writing assignments. So just be aware of the quick turnaround now, but that's not necessarily always going to be the case. Okay, so Unit 3 really gets us into, if there was like one fundamental concept that is maybe the most important, at least as far as the composition part of our composition class, so not really the research part, it's maybe this idea, and I provide this visual way of thinking about it. It's really just a way of thinking about the relationship between general statements, relatively speaking, and more specific statements within any piece of writing. And the thing that often separates really proficient or really effective writing from just competent writing that sort of gets the job done is the writer's ability to move effectively between and manage the transitions between general and specific statements. So this is one of those really core concepts. And it's pretty easy to see theoretically, and then the challenge is to apply that, in practice when it's actually time to write something. So for us, you can think of general statements like an overall thesis in an essay. That's kind of the most general we would get. Topic sentences within, body paragraphs, or a little bit more specific, obviously. And then the most specific or the most minute detail we get in essays for us is direct quotation from whatever primary texts we're studying or secondary sources from the research that we do. So there's really not a lot of different kinds of levels of variation here. There's like the big idea, kind of sub-ideas within that, and then the proof. So there's not like a lot to deal with, but it's really important to think about how those need to be presented in the essay and what the relationship is between all of those pieces. So you can look at the material here, and again, I like the visual way of thinking about it because, I don't know, it just works for me. And it's very simple, I think, in this visual format. And you'll also notice that the overall shape of the essay coincides with the overall shape of just a single body paragraph. The pieces change a little bit, but their relationship to one another doesn't, and that's kind of what we're interested in here. So there's that material that, is very simple to look at, but is really fundamental to our course, so be sure you don't just gloss over it. There's a whole set of examples here that will hopefully again, take the theory and put it into practice to make it a little more relatable, maybe. Again, spend time with this. Don't just like race through the unit looking for, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? There's some citation stuff, but we do finally get to the first writing assignment we've got for the class, kind of formal writing assignment in the paragraph here towards the end of Unit 3. So yeah, it's just a paragraph. It's not that long. And here's really the first opportunity to think about that overarching idea that I presented in, I think, my first video thing, is this is the first assignment where, go in thinking, okay, this is the assessment device where the prof looks to see if I have understood concepts in class and can now apply them in the writing situation. And so the question to ask yourself is, well, what concepts have we learned? And really, just this Unit 3 is the main stuff, right? Outside of basic grammar mechanics and spelling, editing, stuff like that, we don't really learn that. I'm expecting you've got that already. So if you have grammar sentence level errors, that's really going to hurt your grade, but it's not something that we cover at this level of composition. We're really more concerned with that, moving effectively between the general and the specific and providing adequate support for ideas that fit within larger ideas. And then again, for this paragraph assignment, you'll see that the assignment itself is way longer than a paragraph. So I've tried to really lay out as transparently as possible what I'm looking for, so what's expected of you. And another way of saying that is, what are the concepts that I'm looking to see that you've learned and can now apply? And again, it largely is just a matter of, even though you can take 3 seconds and look at Stickman 1 and the other Stickman 2 and examples that I'm really interested in that. Ooh, some highlighting, that's cool. If you just breeze through that, then you're really not getting the concepts that we're doing in the course. It would sort of be like not coming to class if we had that physical face-to-face meeting, but then hoping to somehow produce an essay or writing assignment that reflected concepts you had learned in class, except you weren't in class and now you can see the problem, right? So be sure to spend time on this stuff in Unit 3 here so that the writing you're doing reflects that you've understood concepts that we're looking to apply in class. So there's lots of examples, but also instructions for how to do things. There's a basic points system here. It's out of a total of 50. And it really is, there's no mystery to it. It's not a magical kind of, oh, I like it or I don't like it. It really is just a matter of, have you followed the directions and looked at the examples and can now apply them? Nothing too fancy, to be perfectly honest with you. But the turnaround is quick, so be sure to get in there and start working on these things so you're not left at the last minute having to really skip through the concept stuff and then hoping to apply whatever in the actual writing assignment. You may also want to double check on the due dates a little bit into the future, so again, you're aware of the quick turnaround that we have sometimes. And that's about it. If you have any other questions or concerns about this assignment or just kind of generally, be in touch with me sooner rather than later, and I'll probably get back to you right away.